I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing, Nelson Mandela once said. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. Now, I'm sure with your experiences in school, applying to college, or deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you, make sure you have something to fall back on, make sure you have something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. I want to fall forward. At least that way, I'll see where I'm going to fall. Denzel Washington, really smart guy, by the way, conducted an experiment where you had to connect 9 dots without lifting your pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Told you he was a smart guy. Now, I'm not just telling you this to entertain you guys, but it represents life and how we should all approach it, except for me, of course. Now, and I'm not just saying that. See, I used to swim with this kid called Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Daniel would destroy me every single race, no matter how hard I tried. Every time I touched, he was already out the water. Like, here's a clip of him starting 4 seconds after me and still beating me. Like, what? Bro's on hacks or something. Anyway, I was sick of it. And at some point, I told him, I'm going to be faster than you one day. And you want to know what he did? Nothing. He just laughed. Could you believe that? The nerve, right? So, from that moment on, something changed in me. I made a decision. I was going to make him eat his words. It wasn't going to be easy, though. I would have to destroy myself and rebuild a stronger, better, and more focused version of myself. It even got to a point where my brother and I were the only people on the squad, and everyone else had just gone on vacation. Anyway, it wasn't easy in the beginning, though. I was sloppy. I wasn't where I wanted to be. My technique wasn't on point. I wanted to quit. I really did. But you want to know what kept me going? That laugh. It lived rent-free in my head all summer, and I was not about to prove him right. So I trained, and I trained, and I trained. While Daniel took rest days, I pushed. While he rested, I worked. While he coasted, I strived. And then 4 months passed, then 5, then 6. Eventually, I started getting, a bit good at the sport, beating the local 6-year-olds, nothing too crazy. Then a year and a half goes by. I hadn't seen Danny in all that time. And this time, we stepped up behind the blocks and dove in. And unfortunately, for Daniel, I absolutely destroyed him. Not even close. Let's go. So I finally beat him. But what made the difference? I'll tell you. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It wasn't skill. It wasn't opportunity. And it definitely wasn't that spike of dopamine you get from watching motivational reels on Instagram. It was that I fell forward. I took action when I needed to. I trained when it hurt. And I kept going when no one was watching. And I didn't wait for motivation to come knocking on my door. That race didn't just prove I was faster. It proved hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. Fall forward. So do you feel passionate? Passionate about taking chances. Don't be afraid to break everyday routine. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in baseball history. But I bet you didn't know that, because you don't hear about the strikeouts. People hear about the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Do you know that? I didn't know that, because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Every failed experiment was one step closer to success. And that's why you've got to take risks. And I'm sure you've heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. Accept it. You will fail at some point in your life. You will suck at something. You will hate it. You will want to quit. But that's when it's the most crucial. That is when you fall forward. Now, I know it's not traditional for a 9th grader telling you how to live your life, but I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Denzel Washington, a great example, early on in his career, auditioned for a Broadway musical. A perfect role for him, he thought, except for the fact he couldn't sing. He didn't get the job, but he walked out of there to get ready for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. You get the point. Though he continued to fail and fail, there was one quote he always used to say: you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later, you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break. And he did catch a break. Last year, he auditioned on a Broadway musical, Fences. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. What's so special about this theater, you may ask? It's the same theater where he had failed 30 years prior. The point is, every student, every teacher, every parent has the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Because if you don't fail, you're not even trying. Let me say that again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Imagine, you're on your deathbed. Standing around you are the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential. They sit around your bed, disappointed and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life. But now, we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? Don't take me wrong. I'm not telling you to walk out of here and become the next Islamic citizen. I'm telling you to walk out of here and become the next best version of yourself, the kind that adores failure. I don't care whether that's getting up earlier, getting that promotion you've always wanted, or for you husbands out there, standing up to your wife when she wants you to take out the trash in the middle of a FIFA session. Do not accept that. That is unacceptable. Stand up for your rights. I said it last year, and I'll say it again. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better than yesterday, which, funny enough, is my swim club's slogan. But do not look. They did not pay me to advertise them, so do not watch that. So, as you walk out of here today, remember this. Don't fall back on comfort. Fall forward into the challenge, into the dream that scares you, into the goal that feels too far away. Because the truth is, the only way you can know how far you can go is by falling, and then getting back up again. And whenever life knocks you down, smile, learn, and fall forward one more time. This is Omar Hamdan signing. No, that's too cliche. This is Omar Hamdan walking off. Thank you.
Hello.